All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Call Loyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and sincerity. All right. Chaos is on the horizon, man. All right. I've heard this before, but I seen a video on it today. I think the elder Barak Allah posted it. Dealing with the BRICS having a gold-backed digital currency. Okay, what does that mean for the U.S.? Immediately, that's where my mind went. All right, and this deal. All right, supposedly they're gonna be announcing it next in less than 3 weeks or 3 weeks. All right, they're gonna be announcing them creating a gold standard for a digital currency. All right, involving the BRICS nations, and that's Brazil. All right, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, and so I got tidbit information. I mean, just to show you what's been going on. All right, and this is dealing with Saudi Arabia, how America was dealing with Saudi Arabia, but because you know, the petrodollar. All right, all deals done internationally dealing with oil. Um, you have to exchange your currency to the dollar. Okay, and that's why America's been so strong. All right, because they're number one internationally, the number one reserve currency at one point. All right, I think it was over 90%. One of these articles says it goes into it. You know, really quick. Here we go. Here it says it right here. And Salaki, this is raw, you know. But basically what's going to ensue from the BRICS, you know, creating this gold standard for their digital currency, is going to lead to all other currencies on a downturn. All right, but the American dollar is going to be the it's going to be the worst for the American dollar. Okay, because you already got Japan. You got a lot of other countries that's been, you know, pretty much not dealing with the dollar anymore. Okay, and that means something very, very, very significant on an international level. Okay, that means the American dollar ain't gonna be as strong. So it says to that point, the Federal Reserve estimates that between 1999 and 2019, the dollar accounted for 96% of international trade transactions in the Americas, 74% in Asia, and 79% around the rest of the globe. Wow. Wow. All right. Globally, banks use dollars for approximately 60% of their non domestic deposits and loans. Adding to this, in the foreign exchange market today, the US dollar is on one side of almost 90% of all transactions, and this is internationally. That's big. And what have we been seeing trending the last 6 months, even up to you know, a few years, is that nations have been dropping the dollar. Okay, and a lot of nations are siding with these BRICS nations to basically put in those frameworks that the BRICS has set up, which now they're going to unveil it in less than a month from now. Okay, now, I ain't a guru about money, but the basics is when this gold-backed digital currency goes up, everything else gonna fall, and it's gonna fall for the worse for America. All right. So there's articles on it. All right. You know, you can educate yourself, but you know, and money is tricky dealing with Esau's, you know, and how they deal with it. But the basic understanding is here. This is another one. Just tidbit information. It says the BRICS economic influence. What I meant to say is just it's good to get educated with it as much as possible so you can understand the basics of it. It said the BRICS economic influence extends beyond what most realize. BRICS have opened a bank called the New Development Bank, NDB, and has begun funding projects. A joint statement from BRICS finance ministers and central bank governors said, we encourage the NDB. So their back is a backing, all right? And people are with it. As a leading provider of solutions for infrastructure and sustainable development, all right? It says expand local currency operation, all right? Improve its credit ratings, including undertaking more co-financing ventures. The BRICS are gaining economic significance, but the dollar remains strong due to petrodollar recycling. The petrodollar system is the agreement between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia to keep the oil trade in dollars. 80% of international oil trade happens in U.S. dollars. That's big. That's major, right? But watch the flip. It says petrodollar recycling happens after dollar-based oil transactions, and the dollars get recycled into foreign investments and infrastructure. If petrodollar recycling ends and trillions of dollars return stateside, there will be an unimaginable inflationary event. All right. And I was watching that the guy, what's his name, Glenn Beck. I was explaining that America's going to be just like Venezuela. If you notice, when Venezuela had their collapse, food prices went up. Then the scarcity went up. Then crime went up. All right. And see, these are pretenses for what's going to happen in America, you know. And this is just tidbit information. You know, you can dig a little bit deeper, but the chaos is about to ensue. And so when this chaos ensues and this inflationary event takes place, what is it going to do? It's going to kill the dollar. So food prices are going to go up tremendously, and as they go up, the dollar is going to be rendered basically useless. Okay, it's going to be useless. All right, it's going to be useless, and at biblical proportions. Okay. So check this out. It says Saudi Arabia is actively negotiating with China to accept the Chinese yuan for oil. Imagine that. You see? And because who has the most oil? Right, you named it right here, Saudi Arabia. The second pillar, Saudi Arabia 2030 plan, is to grow and diversify its economy. China and Saudi Arabia's largest consumer and buys almost 2 million barrels per day. You see, of Saudi oil. That is very significant. Before Saudi Arabia could move the oil trade away from dollars to yuan, it would probably happen slowly because Saudi Arabia still has significant dollar-based investments. Saudi Arabia will move away from the dollar slowly, but it is moving away. All right. We've seen that within the last 6 months, 8 months, that Saudi Arabia was seeking business elsewhere, diversifying their portfolio. Yep. So it says Saudi Arabia does not want to become Iraq. Saddam Hussein has changed the oil trade to euros in 2001. Accusations of weapons of mass destruction came against him. That's what happened. So what's going to happen also when the BRICS get off the ground with this gold standard digital currency, it is going to intensify the war front. It's going to intensify the war front, okay? Because these countries are fighting for a stake and a claim to the world economy, or have an advantage with the world economy, having their currency back world resources. All right. And we've seen what that has done for America. and we've seen what it has done for other countries. America's, able to put sanctions on countries, all right, to take a blow at their economies, so they don't produce as much or don't bring in as much or can't buy as much, all right, to stimulate their economies, okay. But I'm not an economist, so, but what I understand is that this is playing right into the hands of the Lord, all right, right into the hands of the Lord, okay. Concerning Babylon, lament for Babylon, because the Lord has a determination, he has a judgment for Babylon, all right. Babylon being America, which is raised in its origin or its genesis is slavery and genocide. And people think this country to be the best country in the world, and in fact, it was built on blood, literally. All right, it was built on the backs of slaves who had to endure harsh crimes through tyranny. All right, Salaki, because my phone is really hot. All right, it's really hot, Salaki. I just got a warning. Okay, so I'm gonna try to speed this up. It says, come down, all right, and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, and the virgin daughter of Babylon is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, he is that virgin daughter. So it's dealing with Esau. It's pointing this man out. All right. It says Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. In the day of Jerusalem. Why? Because Jerusalem is the Lord's people. Okay, and they're being pretty much they're suffering, and we're calling out back to the Lord to save us. All right. No, this is pointing to a particular time in history. All right, 137:7, but it echoes throughout history of how Esau dealt with us. But it says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it. All right, meaning to tear it down. All right, and that was the temple. That was our infrastructure at one point. It says, even to the foundation thereof, and that's what happened. They tore it even with the ground. All right, and we went into captivity, and what did they do? They helped our enemies, the Babylonians, to take us down. All right, and that's probably why they call old daughter of Babylon, right? The daughter of Babylon, right? Because they were in cahoots with the Babylonians, all right? And also in other times, all right? I think, is it Micah or Amos that says for 3 to 4 transgressions, all right, that the daughter of Edom has done to Jerusalem. But this is Psalms 137:8. It says, O daughter of Babylon. So it's referring to Edom as O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. All right, because it's going to be a payback. It's going to be a retribution. It's going to be a recompense. All right, the Lord is not mocked. You reap what you sow. All right, and if you sow evil, you shall reap it. And that's what Esau has done, not only to the higher ups, the elite, but to the whole family of Edomites. Okay. So here's another precept, Zephaniah 1:10. All right. Like I said, do your own research, of course. This website here, usnews.com, investing articles, de-dollarization, what happens if the dollar loses reserve status. All right. And I'm going to just tell you right now, if it loses its reserve status, it's going to take America's going to take a blow, a huge blow. And what they're going to be doing is there's going to be crime, and in the streets is going to be chaos. What they're going to do is introduce their new digital currency, which is going to be opposite the BRICS. All right, and they're going to have full control. And we know what's part of their CBDCs, the central banking digital currencies that they got laid out. People are going to run to it because it's going to be the only way you're going to be able to buy goods. All right. And it goes into Revelation 13 that no man might buy or sell. Okay. So first they're going to let people deal with the cash apps where you where you use apps for transactions, but that's going to cease because that's not the end game goal. The end game goal is to chip you. All right. So again, for Isaiah 47:1, Salakia, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate," meaning to be untouched. All right, and this nation is going to be touched. All right, because the Lord is going to reach out and touch it. Isaiah 47:2, "Take the millstones, grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers." So America is about to be exposed, and the millstones is dealing with the work, the jobs. So in that time where there's going to be a crashing, there ain't going to be no work. And then we see there ain't no work. Even now, it says in grind mill, so, and that's dealing with work, right? You can equate that to jobs. Okay, uncover thy locks. Okay, and make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Okay, because this is an exposing. This is an exposing. Uncover. All right, uncover the thigh, and it's an exposing of the secret parts or the secrets of America, which we know a lot of secrets about America. About mainly what we're dealing with right now is a fraudulent financial institution or a financial setup that America has. Also, with all the other crimes that are committed to humanity, all right, things like slavery and genocide, just to say the least. They've been how can I say, experimenting, lethal experimenting, mind control, so on and so forth. The list goes on. All right, so this is an uncovering. Okay, so the jobs to take millstone, grind mill, uncover the locks. It says pass over the river. Okay, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Okay, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. So they're gonna lose the bread and stay, so to speak. All right, they're gonna lose they're gonna lose out big on what keeps this place going. Okay, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right, and so we're very close to the Lord taking his vengeance. But before that, he has to corrupt this place and corrode it. And that's what's happening. Isaiah 14 goes into that really quickly. It says, let's see. Isaiah 14:5. It says, "The Lord Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke." All right, and I just mentioned some of that. All right, the genocide, slavery. Okay, but when you come up within the last few hundred, or the last 100 years, man, they have committed, they've created the most devastation known to mankind with them destroying infrastructure and going to wars. You have World War I, you have World War II, and then you got the proxy wars and the wars that were set up to steal resources. You got the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, the war in Syria, the war in, the war effort that's being pushed, covert operations with the Taliban and so on and so forth. Esau's been doing a number. All right. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hinder it. So nobody's going to be able to hinder the persecution of this place, the daughter of Babylon. All right. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing, because that's what's going to basically happen when the Lord breaks the staff of the wicked. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. You see, so who is laid down? So since thou, that's dealing with Edom, is laid down, no feller, a feller is one that cuts the trees down, is come up against us. So when this devil, all right, is put down in a sense, all right, when he's in the dust, no other fella is going to be able to come up. No one that's able to, cut down the nations. All right, because that's who the fir trees are. It's the nations. All right, and it's symbolic. Okay, Isaiah 14:9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at that coming. It stirred up the dead for thee. And that's what we're seeing. All right, when we see articles like this, the BRICS, when we see Saudi Arabia drop the dollar, dealing with the Chinese, and we've seen other countries, especially African countries, call for the help of the Chinese and the Russians. All right, so that's an example. All right, going back. All right, so Isaiah 14:9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, is stirred up the dead. And that's the dead, the other nations, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All right, so all the kings of the nations are standing up. All right, why? Because they're noticing the hammer of the earth being put down. The ones Esau, the America, Great Babylon, is being put down. Isaiah 14:10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? All right, art thou become like unto us? Okay, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of vows, the worm is spread under thee. And this is the point. This is the point. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. All right, and that's representing the corrosion, the corruption of this place, whether it be infrastructure or financially. And that's what we're seeing both taking place. Okay, so this is ensured. This is indeed lining up with what's happening and what we see unfold in internationally in politics concerning mainly Babylon the Great. All right, and the dead nations that has risen up against them, which are the heathen nations outside of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. So you got what? You got Ishmael playing a big part. You got Elam playing a big part in Iran. All right. And then you got Moab playing a big part out there in China. Okay. So let's see. We got Zephaniah 1:10. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. All right. And the fish gate represents, of course, commerce. And then howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills, because that's what's about to happen. There's going to be a great crashing. All right, because due to the dollar not having any more international power, they're stripping the dollar, and it's exactly what we have predicted from a biblical perspective and standpoint. This is definitely what the scriptures have predicted. Excuse me. All right. So it says, how ye inhabitants of Mektesh. All right. Mektesh is the merchant city. What is America? A merchant city, because America is a city. It's not a country. All right. It's incorporated. It's a city. It says, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off. All right. So all they that bear silver are cut off. All right. And what comes to mind? Wall Street, of course. All right. And other, money institutions. All right. So it says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles. So a lot of things are going to play, and a lot of events are going to trigger other events. Okay. Because the Lord is about to search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees. All right. It's funny how it's dealing with a financial crash, merchant city coming down, and we're talking about this topic of America, the standard of America going down due to hyperinflation, due to other countries dropping the dollar and signing on to the BRICS, and the move that the BRICS are about to make, which is a huge move. All right. And then it goes into Jerusalem, and Jerusalem being searched with candles and the men that's punished on their lees. Lees is going to, and it goes into undesirable parts, because what's about to happen simultaneously when America, Babylon, Great Babylon is being brought down. All right. Israel is going to be judged as well. Okay. And the Lord is going to divide, all right, the good from the bad, all right. And we're gonna soon know who the elect is and who the Lord is dealing with. Okay. So this is all going, it says settle on the leaves here. This is dealing with the dregs, all right? Because at the bottom of wine you have what? Dregs. Okay. So it says here shamar, which means it actually means to watch. Okay. But this is in the sense of this is in the sense of watch. Okay. To keep guard, observe, give heed, right? That's the root word, is to simply observe. But this word, H8105, we just did H8104. This one says lees, dregs, okay? It says something preserved, i.e. the settlings, plural only, of wine, dregs, wine, lees. But it's figuratively, it's the undesirable parts of man, all right? Which is you Israelites, okay? Dregs, so-called, because when wine is kept on the leaves, its strength and color are preserved, all right? It says to be settled on one's leaves, to lead a quiet and tranquil life, a metaphor taken from wine. Lees rack off, all right? Let's see. And when you deal with wine, the dregs, the very bitter part, is the dregs, okay? Let's see here, Slaki. Dregs. It says the sediment of liquors. The sediment of liquors form matter that subsides to the bottom of a vessel containing liquors. All right. It says to make muddy. All right. Which that's a very, very bitter part. It says useless residue. Here, this is what I want right here. Useless residue, the most worthless part of anything. All right, and that's the 2/3. All right, so the Lord is about to search Jerusalem with candles, and what it says, it says the great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near, and hasteneth. Okay. Verse 12. Slakia. Zephaniah 1-12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves. All right. Useless residue, the most worthless part of anything. Right. Because we're called in this ministry to be new creatures. And those that aren't living up to the preferred way of that Yahweh Shai intended us to be, he's going to cut them off. All right. It says that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. All right. And those, that's really most of those that not doing the work of the Lord. They're not calling on the name of the Lord. They're doing all sorts of madness, which we point out all the time. That ain't of the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai. They're making new doctrines saying that you can have sex on the Sabbath. They're saying the RFID chip is not the MOTB. They're saying all sorts of things. Why? Because their spirit is not tuned into the Lord's. All right, they're not preparing for him. All right, they're saying that he ain't gonna, nothing's gonna happen, essentially. Zephaniah 1-13, therefore their goods shall become a booty. And it's funny, it's talking about a market crash, right? And what ensues when the market crash and prices go up? Crime. All right, crime. Millions gonna spill into the street. All right, and not only that, they're gonna completely deplete the life shelf in the food stores. They're gonna completely take everything. All right, and this is when the real test comes. All right. And 2nd Ezra 15, the 15th chapter goes into it. 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, the 68th verse goes into it. All right. So it says, therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry bitterly, right? And the mighty man is what? The man of war, Okay, the man is probably mighty in his way. Okay, proud. Okay, and so Zephaniah 1:15. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wanton wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities, all right, and against the high towers, all right. And I will bring distress upon men, okay, and that's America, man, all right. That's gonna be America, that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And you're going to be blind to what's going on out in this world. You're not going to be able to call on the Lord. You're going to be lost because you're not going to know what to do due to all the turmoil, all right, and distress, all right. It says, Lord, it says, in their blood shall be poured out as dust, okay, in their flesh as the dung, all right. And this is dealing with, you can read 2nd Ezra, the whole 16th chapter goes into that, all right, famine, death and destruction, men getting killed by the sword due to all of this. And then war is going to ensue. So it's going to be a lot of things, man. The scripture said with perplexity. And I know it's a lot of things to explain. It's like if because I am speaking fast, because I might have missed something. If I might have missed something, Baba Gashai, let it be known, we notice with everything that's taking place. All right, it's according to prophecy. All right, so check out this article, de-dollarization. What happens if the dollar loses reserve status? That means complete chaos and utter chaos in the streets. Millions are gonna rush into the street because they don't have food. And there's a lot of places they ain't gonna have energy, lights. All right, and we've been saying it. The scriptures have said it first. All right, and we make it be known. All right, we as Habakkuk chapter 2 goes into. All right. So let me see if I can grab anything else. If not, I'm gonna pretty much close this lesson. Okay, because really also this is going to be done, and in a sense it's really being done purposely. Okay, because what's going to ensue is the CBDC. All right, this is the ultimate goal, the ultimate plan. So why not crash the dollar? Nations are pretty much lining up to get rid of the dollar, and that's just leaving being the last resort, which is what the CBDC, the central banking digital currencies, that they're gonna be calling people to get due to the turmoil in the streets. All right, it's gonna be the only thing that basically, how can I say, it's gonna be salvation for some. All right, for a lot of people. All right, that's what I should say. Not for some, but for a whole lot. All right, so it's a trick, it's a ploy, and Lord willing, this lesson been edifying. As you can see, somebody's at the door, so I'm gonna have to close it. All right, Shalom.